Houthi forces have targeted the heart of Israel, specifically Tel Aviv, killing one person and injuring dozens. Now, this is big. That's because this is the first time the Yemen-based group has directly attacked a major Israeli city. You see, previously, the Houthis have launched missiles and drones towards southern Israel following the start of the Gaza war in October last year. But this escalation to a major city was unprecedented. And this attack, by the way, coming at a time when Israel is already dealing with the threat of Hezbollah at its northern border and with other Iranian proxies supporting Hamas, intensifying their attacks. The question now is, how did Israel fail to respond to this attack? The Houthi strike hit a building near the beachfront very close to the US embassy premises. The footage that circulated on social media suggested that the attack came from the sea. It did not trigger air raid alarms. But how could that be? Did the feared Iron Dome fail Israel again? The question has Israeli officials perplexed as well. The Israeli military said it was still investigating why the drone did not trigger alarm. Initial reports suggested the aircraft was identified, but sirens were not sounded due to human error. The aerial strike blew out windows of a number of buildings. It damaged cars in the neighborhood near the coastline. People thronged to the area as police helicopters hovered overhead. The strike rumbled through the streets. Shards of the shrapnel rained down, spreading glass shards over a large area.
Sleep in the hotel there. I'm listen the boom, very boom, and finish.
I live just down the street from where the drone hit, and I was woken up in the middle of the night by just the sound of the boom. I was so confused what was happening, and I went out onto the balcony. I could just hear police and ambulances. There were helicopters at the time. I was just so confused what was happening. There were people running away. It was just this utter state of confusion.
The Israeli military and emergency services said that the weapon that struck Tel Aviv was a long-range Iranian-made drone. Israel's chief spokesperson, Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, said that the drone was an upgraded Iranian-made Samad 3 model.
After an initial investigation that we carried out, and from the findings of the scene and on the military systems, it appears that it's an unmanned aircraft of the Samad 3 model. Our estimation is that it arrived from Yemen to Tel Aviv. Samad 3 is an Iranian weapon that's apparently undergone an upgrade to extend the range of the flight. Iran supports, funds and arms proxies in the region, from Gaza, Judea and Samaria, Lebanon, Syria to Yemen, as happened tonight.
In fact, the IDF also shared a map of the impact site on X, formerly Twitter, saying that the attack took place in an area where Israelis go to work, where tourists typically go to the beach or shop. Following the attack, by the way, the Defense Minister Yoav Gallant met with the military commanders to review the air defense. He emphasized that the country must be prepared for all scenarios. He said, and I'm quoting, "We must be prepared for defensive and offensive actions," quote unquote. The Israeli military has also increased air patrols. In the hours following Friday's attack, sirens sounded repeatedly in areas close to the border with Lebanon. Israeli air defenses also intercepted at least one aerial target that crossed into Israel. Israel's Iron Dome air defense system has largely protected Tel Aviv and other Israeli cities from thousands of rockets fired by Hamas out of Gaza and by Hezbollah from Lebanon. So then how exactly did this attack by the Houthis catch the Israeli forces off guard? How is it that the drone attack was not intercepted by the Israeli air defense systems? Have the Houthis developed a new weapon, one that can bypass Israeli air defenses? It looks like They could have. You see, during a televised speech following the attack, Houthi spokesperson Yahya Saree referred to Tel Aviv as a primary target within the range of their new drone. Yes, new drone. The Houthi spokesperson mentioned that their new drone, named Yafa, was capable of bypassing Israeli interception systems and could not be easily detected by radars. And if what he is saying is true, then Israel has much to worry about. The attack also came hours after the Israeli military confirmed it had killed a senior commander of the Iran-backed Hezbollah militia in southern Lebanon. The Houthis claimed responsibility for the attack in a statement published on social media. They stated that the strike was in retaliation for the Gaza war. The Houthi strike occurred shortly after Israel's military confirmed that one of its airstrikes had killed a Hezbollah commander and other militants in southern Lebanon. Israel has not yet taken direct military action against the Houthis, instead allowing its allies to lead as it focuses its efforts on the war in Gaza and the ongoing fighting with Lebanon's Hezbollah group. You see, since the war in Gaza started in October last year, the Houthis have kept the focus of their fight to the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. They maintain that their attacks target ships linked to Israel and allies like the US and the UK. But Friday's drone strike on Tel Aviv resurfaces fears about the war in Gaza between Israel and Hamas expanding to a region-wide conflagration. International mediators have tried and continue to push for a ceasefire. In fact, a three-phase deal is under discussion. It would halt fighting and free around 120 hostages held by Hamas in Gaza. But Israel is divided over striking a deal with Hamas. While some want the government to take the necessary steps to free the hostages, others disagree. They, much like the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, are adamant. And you see, the war can end only with the elimination of Hamas, is what they say. Such contradictions are delaying the truce in Gaza and in the process keeping the tensions hot and burning between Israel and Iran-backed groups siding with Hamas. In fact, a three-phase deal is under discussion. It would halt fighting and free around 120 hostages held by Hamas. But like we've been saying, Israel is divided over striking a deal with Hamas. While some want the government to take the necessary steps to free the hostages, others disagree. It's already gone on long enough for the Houthis to have developed their own weapons that can outsmart Israeli radars, maybe, and air defense systems. Israel possesses a multi-layered aerial defense system, remember, capable of intercepting threats ranging from long-range ballistic missiles to drones and short-range missiles. These systems have intercepted thousands of projectiles throughout the war. But officials warn they are only not 100% effective. The systems appear to have struggled against small and hard-to-detect attack drones. The Houthis seemed to have learned how to exploit Israel's vulnerability, and it's only a matter of time before others do. Can Israel afford a full-blown war across 5 fronts is the question. Can Netanyahu find a way to end the war before it gets too late? We will have to wait and watch. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.